to the Esther Foundation's Healing Cafe, a series in which we interview a variety of interesting guests about their unique experiences with mental health. Today's guest is going to be Mark Lee. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Mark.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, thank you so much. And so our main theme today that we're going to be talking about is going to be family, right? And what specific problems did you have before counseling?
My specific problem was a few. I just wanted to have an ideal relationship with my older daughter. I have two daughters. So my goal and focus was to just constantly improve my relationship with my daughter to its fullest potential.
And you mentioned like an ideal relationship. What would that kind of look like?
Well, for me, it was getting over the bumps of compromising and understanding each other, or not understanding each other, and just to remind myself, I feel.
So my next question is going to be, what things are different and what things are similar about the way you're raising your children and the way you were raised?
Well, different is I think I spend a tremendous amount of time, quality time, number one. Number two, but showing love, affection, and showing the fact that I'm there for them more so than when I was growing up myself. I don't think, no, my family was not strict at all, and I'm probably less strict with my kids. My wife is the disciplinarian, and I'm pretty much the non-disciplinarian. So occasionally I can flare up, and I can with my kids, but predominantly most of my time with my kids, I was trying to make them happy. That was my goal.
And you kind of mentioned that you and your wife have different roles here. Do you ever feel conflict maybe with the way she approaches things as well?
Yes, yes. I think because she came here in a much later age, and she's 98% Korean, born and raised there, and I was born and raised here. So our styles are very different, and our lifestyle and bringing up family and culture is different. Can you think of or identify any like specific differences maybe between like Korean style parenting and American style parenting? I'm a firm believer that kids will just get out of their habits, their bad habits over over a longer period of time. But I think my wife and Koreans in general wanted to establish much earlier and correct much earlier. But I have a long-term view that they're going to be corrected over a much longer period of time.
Very, very interesting kind of looking at those differences and those approaches. And so getting more specific, what challenges do you experience having teenagers at home, and kind of how do you approach teenagers? Because it's a very noteworthy age.
Well, I'm an exception because I know a lot of fathers my age, and I don't have a lot of friends, but I like to spend my disposable discretionary time with my kids, because I feel strongly that after they leave, I have all the time in the world to establish that. Don't get me wrong, I have friends, but they all moved away. Virginia, upstate New York, New Jersey. I like to annoy my kids, and they don't like it, but I know at the end it'll be more memorable maybe. Whether it was good annoying or bad annoying.
I think that sounds really nice. That's definitely...
Because your kids will never approach you if because they're so, boggled up in their own mindset, in their own life, that you're really a side note until they need cash or food. So Monopoly and card games, board games with my kids, and that's a good way to have a wonderful relationship with your kids and memorable relationship. And you can talk about that builds the relationship. That's the foundation. Time just being next to them. Versus spending time watching TV, sports, or so. What I remember growing up is raising my kids is that I made an effort to entertain myself after hours, after my kids went to bed, so I didn't waste their time, precious time together.
And I'm sure that your kids, even if they're teenagers, and right now, how teenagers can be. They'll really appreciate knowing that they're prioritized. I think that's something very special.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And then, maybe they'll obviously open up and feel comfortable discussing, at a later point in time. So I think the key is to do something fun that they like to do and just go with it. Go with the flow, whatever they like, not what you like.
Awesome.
So my younger daughter loves board games. So she likes challenges, and I taught her chess, and we play family Monopoly, minus my wife. She's very busy. But I think games is one ticket to having a bond with your child. Another is going out. My older daughter, she loves Chipotle, so it was a wonderful, most beautiful time I have as my daughter is actually at Chipotle. She's very talkative and open, and I just listen. It's beautiful too. The most beautiful thing in life is to hear your kid and coming out with what's inside them. Because it's not easy at home. Because home they're distracted with games, computers, TV, maybe mommy or sister. So it's nice. So do what they want to do and just go with that.
Yeah, and meeting them on their level.
Yeah, correct.
Definitely. So what kind of insights have you gained from Esther Ha Foundation programs?
One of the best programs I enjoyed was learning with other members and newcomers the complexities of relationships, the diversity, and just really having a small room of other members and digging in and brainstorming, helping each other, feeding off of each other our struggles and our successes. So I think it's number one in the fact that there aren't many avenues and platforms where you have such a diverse group of people with issues that you've never encountered. My takeaway is that it's so beneficial to you to help others and to be helped, and to understand that humans are fallible and we're so delicate. So I think the Esther Foundation has really benefited me, and I can see others as well. The platform that it provides. So that's a huge benefit, because it's not easy to find in the Korean community. It is, as we all know, in the Asian community, counseling is not something that's historically been advocated or thought of as being a success. So because it's hard to see the reward over a long time sometimes, but at the end it works. Counseling or having discussion platforms and helping each other out, feeding from off of each other. So, and all of that, it's wonderful that Esther provides that for me, especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's definitely important to ensure those kind of affordable, diverse, specific sorts of programs for different sorts of communities.
Correct.
And then, what is something maybe that you wish teenagers, kind of as a whole, understood about what their guardians do for them?
I think it's very hard for children to understand what we're going through because development takes a long time. Child development takes a long time, as you know. And I think you can't rush it. It takes time. So you don't want to expect more than they can do, comprehend. So the value of money is an example.
Yeah.
So my older daughter just started working. So now she knows the value of saving and spending and working. So it took time before she didn't know. So that's a good example of just waiting for the right time for your child to mature and to accept it. So we had a specific example this week, which was sleeping at a friend's house during the weekday, during the school day. I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? Have we been consistent? There's a lot of complexities, and kids don't. Kids need to understand that parents are fallible and can make mistakes in the past, but we have to move forward and be consistent in the future regarding the strict rules or good rules. So
I think that's some really incredible insight and advice. And I really like how you mentioned development as well, because that's what a lot of parents often don't realize is that, their brains are literally different and wired differently. And so I appreciate you kind of bringing that to the table and letting more parents know about that. Do you have any kind of closing comments or anything else that you think maybe parents should know or teens should know?
I think parents, they should just enjoy their children and try not to mold them to what you want, but to try to nurture what they have and just let them be, let them grow. They need to make the mistakes. I always tell people there's two types of kids in general, and it's so obvious with my two kids is that one child you tell them to do and they follow directions, but another child, they need to learn by experience. It's a little bit rougher journey, but it's in the end it works out the same. And then for kids, just grow and enjoy what you're doing and be yourself. That's it.
Yeah, kind of enjoy the ride, kind of for both sides.
Correct.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's kind of all from us today. So thank you so much for coming on today, Mark, and sharing this really important information, this really important perspective.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you again for joining us today at the Esther Ha Foundation's Healing Cafe. For more information about mental health resources and the Esther Ha Foundation itself, please check for links below in the description bar. Additionally, please like, comment, share, and subscribe so that we can bring our message to as many people as we can. Thank you so much and enjoy your week. And as always, you are not alone. Yay! Thank you.
With the Esther Ha Foundation, you are not alone.
Yay!